I want to just talk about the Barracuda that I don't know if anyone saw. Well, I mean, it's
I would have watched it if Grant went.
How do you?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's an important topic. Grant Horvat, the months and months leading up to this, had this open invitation. He went to Scotty, asked for some advice, kind of brought it up on social media a few times, and finally came out and said, I will not be accepting this sponsorship exemption to come in and play the tournament.
Did you hear his reasoning why?
That came out a little bit after, and it shed a lot of light on it. And it wasn't at all about, we find out it wasn't about him. Do I want to play competitively? Do I want to take up a spot of somebody else who should be in this tournament? Whatever. We find out that he was denied by the PGA Tour the ability to film and post and do his social media thing, his YouTube videos, any part of his round. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, I'm sure he's got like a whole camera crew and they got like mics on like the sticks and all that. And he said, no, it was one guy. He just wanted one guy out by the ropes.
That's crazy. I didn't hear that. It was one guy by the ropes.
That's why he's there anyways.
I love that kid.
So here's my sort of question that I'll throw out there. Who do you think is, I'm not going to say wrong, but who do you think is less right? Is it Grant Horvat for turning it down because he couldn't film it and do his thing? Is it the PGA Tour not making accommodations for Grant to do his thing, which is the whole reason you invited him? But remembering that it could open a can of worms because all these golfers are starting YouTube channels and we all want videographers out here.
I say it's mostly on the PGA Tour because he was a sponsor's exemption or exempt from being a social media influencer.
Yes.
And being one of the best golfers. He's won Creator Classic. If they should have gave the reason why he got the sponsor's exemption. If that was the case, if it was because he won the Creator Classic, that's one thing. I'm like, okay, maybe. But if it's because he's a social influencer and
superstar
and a superstar YouTuber, he should be able to record that stuff.
This is like a catch-22 because there's so many ways to look at it. First off, he's making money off of this, and this is why he's invited to the thing in the first place. But then you have him come to the thing, and then he can't do the thing in which he was doing that got the invite. But then also, I feel he didn't want to play in the Barracuda because there's this question in these conversations in the comments in which it's driven like, can he play in these events? Is he's that good? And now he does play in it, and he does horribly. And now the question's answered. And now that hoopla that brings people to his, content.
But we learned that hypothetical didn't exist in this scenario. So he agreed to do it.
Sure.
So all of that, whether I do well or not, what people will think of me, was kind of thrown out the window for him.
True.
And the other thing was thrown out because was it about a month or two ago he played in a tournament,
Corn Ferry, but it was a pro-am.
It was a pro-am, but so you
did wonderfully
right. But the thing is, so it's I don't think that holds much water because we've seen how he plays.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't agree or disagree to either one of those. It's just like critical thinking of both things, and then it's also like, you can't give somebody special treatment for something.
Sure, you can. You can do whatever you want.
Well,
if you own the event, you can do whatever you want.
Well,
but here's a question that we haven't brought up.
Go ahead.
Was it on CBS or NBC, and they already had those rights locked down, and so they weren't allowed to get that? So maybe was it CBS that said no because they had the contract with the exclusive video rights for that tournament?
Well, which 100%.
Good question.
100%. And that's why even in our media passes, when we go out, we can only film during practice rounds. And once the tournament starts, you can't film any part of the competitive play.
And that's what I think needs to change with the PGA.
But
you can't, or you can't post. You could film for you.
When I have a media pass on, nothing I do is for me. At that point, I can't be allowed in these certain spaces and go, this is for my own
I understand 100%.
Personal record.
Yep, I get it.
So I'm functioning the entire time as a media representative, regardless of what I do. But I do feel like there could have been room for some creativity on the side of the PGA Tour or the broadcast partner, whoever it is, to say, okay, you know what? No, you can't come out here and film because that opens a can of worms. Everybody's got a YouTube channel. We get the whole thing. But we are going to have a camera that's following your group, which as a media partner, we will share access to that with you.
I love that. You said what I was thinking. That's so
And do you know what's funny too? PGA Tour skipped out. You know, he'll post this on YouTube and have a lot more views than what the people were watching.
For sure.
Yeah. How many people watch the Barracuda?
No one.
how many people would have watched the Barracuda?